Welcome to the Superhero Sidekick Leadership Coaching Podcast with Joel Smith and Joe Baker. We're here to help you develop your superpowers. This is the Superhero Sidekick Coaching Podcast. I'm Joel Smith.
I'm Joe Baker. We're not here to be the superhero. We just want to be your sidekick and help you along in building your business, building your not-for-profit. Let's help you grow it fast and really scale.
Be sure to check us out on Facebook and visit us at superherosidekick.com. Hello, this is the Superhero Sidekick Coaching Podcast. I'm Joel Smith, and Joe Baker is here. Joe, how you doing today?
Hey, doing good.
Excellent. Terrific. Hey, you've got something on your mind today that you want to talk about, and I know that it involves a couple different things. It involves, first of all, the 5 love languages. I know that you as a family man and you as a businessman, you connect with this. But then also you want to talk about fundraising with this too, and you've got a way to connect the 5 love languages with business and with fundraising and with connecting to a vision and a mission. So I'm gonna let you just get going and start talking about that. So tell us what you know.
Well, just the outline of the 5 love languages. They were so good for my marriage and just understanding that Ann and I have different love languages and beginning to have these conversations in our marriage and helping me to see that some of the ways I like to get loved aren't the same things that fill my wife's love tank. And as I begin to learn that, I begin to see, well, this really applies to everything I do in my life. And at the time that I was learning about the love languages, I was also really just starting Save the Storks. And so I was on a mission to raise money. And I just saw them as very similar. In fact, I would often try to have a conversation with our donors and share with them about what me and Ann are learning about love languages. And then I would just simply ask them, hey, what's your love language? And as I begin to know them, that I would really log that info and say, oh, wow, it's gift giving. That's a really, really good clue of how to really care for you in a time of need, or a time of like celebration. If something really big happens in your life, if someone tells you their love language is gift giving with their spouse, it's a really good idea to get them a gift in that time, of excitement in their life if they got a new job or something happens in their life or they get married. Whereas someone else might say quality time.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, I'm going to just give a brief overview of what those 5 languages are, if you don't mind.
Do it.
So, Joe's talking about the 5 love languages, and it comes from a book by Gary Chapman, and it was written, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago or so, maybe more.
Yeah, forever ago,
It's been a long time ago,
longer.
But it's a classic, and, anybody that wants to have a strong marriage should read this book. It is awesome. In fact, I'm pretty sure that I read this book in premarital counseling, so that would have been 28 or 29 years ago. So,
it's in like the top 5 of like marriage books everyone should read.
Yeah, no doubt, for sure. But anyway, I'll just go over these real quick. So, number 1, words of affirmation is the first one. Second is quality time. The third is acts of service, and then tangible gifts, and then physical touch. Which those are great. That sums it up.
Yep, so, that's it.
Anyway,
those are the ones.
Keep going. Tell us how your experience there.
And really becoming a master at them is becoming a master at just emotional intelligence and knowing how to relate with people and, and serving people. Really I like to think of fundraising not as like I do ministry and then I do fundraising. I really want people to think of fundraising as ministry. And ultimately, it's money is going to be the byproduct of serving people. And so it's really important that we're serving people, not just the people we're giving to with our ministry, but also serving the very people that are, that are giving to our ministry.
Well, and so it's so easy to think of ministry and fundraising as being separate things. Like if you're going to go on a mission trip, some people think, oh, I got to do that fundraising thing prior to it. So it's just kind of a way to pay for it, so to speak. But it's not. It's so much more than that. The people that are, there's senders and there's goers, right? The senders are just as much a part of that mission as the goers. And that's really important that the senders are being partnered with the the goers and the senders are partnered together, making this trip happen. So I love that. Yes, there's a merging of those two for sure.
So I just wanted to go through the love languages and talk about them. And Actually, at the end of this, I'd like to share with you what I think is like the sixth one, which is kind of like the sixth element. Um, and we'll go over that too, which is I actually think is one of the most important ones. And so the first one is really just giving gifts, and giving gifts is a really good way to have somebody stick, have somebody have you stick in their mind. And so when it comes to gifts, there's two kinds of gifts that I think about. I think about like branded gifts, gifts that really connect the donor with your icon or your logo and your name and who you are. And so at Storks, like we had Stork necklaces, Stork bracelets, Stork backpacks at one time. We did Stork hats. We had Stork wrapping paper. We did Stork, of course, we did Stork t-shirts. We were really trying to get these Stork leggings, but we could never really get those on the website. We had people just raving about our Stork socks. I mean, they're little conversation starting socks. But when you have little branded pieces like that, they really connect people to your brand, to your company, in a fun way. It gives them this emotional connection, and then they're out there actually telling others about you. Some other gifts that are branded is we would do like wall murals. And when I would tell a donor about like, hey, I got you this wall mural. This is someone that gave us like, let's say like 50 grand. They'd say, oh, no, you don't have to do that. You didn't have to do that. And I said, no, I don't have to do that. But I wanted to. And then I'd go to their house and it's like hanging over the dining room table, and it's like the same gift. They were like, oh, you don't have to do that. Oh, I can't believe you did that. But they like totally hang it up. And then what does that do? That reminds them to pray for us. It reminds them that they're thinking about us. You want to be on their refrigerator, and to have that connection where they regularly think and see you. And so branded gifts is a big part of this. And now when you're developing branded gifts, especially like the simplest one is every organization has a t-shirt, you don't want to get the cheapest Gildan t-shirt that you could find and find the cheapest, designer and cheapest printer in the whole town to get these made. You want to make the best t-shirt. You want the highest quality fabric. You want the best, screen printing, and you want to have a designer that knows what they're doing that actually creates t-shirts. And so you want something that's really high quality that when somebody opens their drawer, they say, oh, that's my favorite shirt to wear. Not, oh yeah, here's my drawer of shirts that I'll never wear. I mean, I have so many college t-shirts that, colleges have given me over the years. Like they all go in one spot. I don't know. I never wear them. Maybe if I'm going to paint the house or something. But you don't want to ever be in that category. You want to always be the best. So if you're going to make a hat, make the best hat. It's, whatever it is.
It's kind of like a birthday present or a Christmas present. Most of us tend to buy other people maybe things a little bit nicer than what we would buy ourselves because that's important. Yep. And it's the perception. It's like sometimes we receive gifts that are nicer than we would buy ourselves too, and then we really appreciate that. It's like, this is awesome. I would never go buy myself that because I'm too cheap, but I got this, and so now I have it.
Yeah. In fact, I had a client this week that just had the idea that I'm so glad they ran this by me, but they're saying, hey, we're going to do these t-shirts. We're going to send everybody an extra large because we don't know everybody's sizes. And I was like, oh, that sounds so terrible. Like if I got an extra large t-shirt, it's 2 sizes too big for me. One, it's kind of a weird statement. Like, do you think I'm like overweight, to me? Like you don't know my size. And then 2, it's like, so I don't feel known when I get it. And then 2, it's like, when am I ever going to wear that? Like, I don't wear things that don't fit me. Like, and most people don't. And so it's really important that it's like, if you're going to do t-shirts, you have to face the fact of sizes. And so you have to find out what somebody's size is, write it down, put it in the CRM, and make a quality product for them that fits. So that's the first big category of giving gifts. The second category of giving gifts is really unique gifts. And you want to, this is really where creativity comes in. You're going to want to have people put their minds together. You're going to want to spend time processing. But you want to look for fun, unique gifts that really fit where somebody's at. Especially like opportunities if somebody's sick. There's one guy that was is just really just struggling with sleep, and he was because he was having some abdominal pain from what he was sick with, and so we got him this like special pillow that just like kind of molds around your body. It's like this. It's not like a body pillow, but it's like a pillow that goes all the way around you. The guy like loved that, like meant so much that we got him this unique pillow. And there's a lot of things like that out there that are available. And then when I think of unique gifts, I always look for like memorable gifts too, like something that's really like funny. So some funny ones that we've done before are there's this thing called the bug assault. Have you ever used one of those, Joel? you might want to have one of these in your in your restaurant. Actually, probably not. But the bug assault shoots salt. So you put table salt into the top of it.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before.
And it's like a shotgun.
Yeah.
And you literally like it. You shoot it at flies from 6 feet away, and it's like a shotgun that just blows the wings off the flies. And so then they're like totally disabled. They're not buzzing around anymore. But it's so fun to walk around the house. You're like just itching to find flies in your house once you get a bug assault.
Wow, Joe, you sound a little twisted, man. You've been spending too much time in the forest. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, it's like I just want something it's something that they bust out and they're like, oh, let's try it. Another one that that's been really funny to create or to send to people is we got this super plunger. It's a plunger that actually takes a CO2 cartridge. You plug a CO2 cartridge in the top, and you hit a button, and in one plunge, completely clears out all the pipes in your house, and it's amazing. If you do it wrong, you totally like cover yourself in water in the toilet. But it's like an experience to do that. And when you get somebody a gift like that, and you write something funny with it. It really becomes this memorable thing, because most of the people that give to our ministry, they can afford anything that they need. And so really, if we're going to give a gift, it has to be kind of like this unique, exciting thing. And then also with that, like, it's good to create gifts that really connect the person to the mission as well, which is like the third type of gifts that in gift giving. And that's like when someone would invest in like a stork bus, we would get them like canvas print of that stork bus, we'd have that made and sent to them. And we found different ways to do that, but it's so important to connect those dots, and a lot of the ministries I work with, if they just, would just send people something that would connect them to what they just invested in, man, they would be so much more excited and so much more passionate about what, about what you're doing. And it's something that reminds them to pray for you, they hang it on the wall. So gift giving is a big, really important category that is really something that you should be doing for all of your caseload of donors. But if someone's love language is gift giving, you really want to hone in on this one and become good at it.
Yeah. How about the second language?
Yeah. So the next one I want to talk about is words of encouragement. And how did you put it? You said words of affirmation?
Yep, words of affirmation. So I guess maybe with the love languages, it might be encouragement.
Yeah. Yep. So either way, it's really going to be, if someone specifically this, you really want to pay attention to it, but everybody needs words of encouragement, and you want to become a master at it. One way to do that is with handwritten notes. If writing a handwritten notes that like express that you heard somebody, that you appreciated some qualities about them, and that you noticed something about them, really is something that everybody wants to hear. And so sitting down to write a little handwritten note is one of the best ways to like give out some words of encouragement. Some other ways to do it, though, is it's always good to have honored guests at your event. So, and the way I use the term honored guests is that I love having people at an event, and then I love introducing them to others. And so on the snowmobile trip that I do every year, we do a CEO sled trip. At the beginning of the trip, I give every man like a man name, and so like my name on that trip is Jason Bourne. And so everybody like on the radio, like, hey, Jason Bourne, I got to dig me out over here. And so it's, so we have like these really fun man names like Jack Reacher, and there's, Tony Stark, and it's like names that men would want. And so, so what I would do is at the beginning of the trip, I would introduce each man and speak of some qualities about them that really are true about, they're definitely true about them, to the whole group, and say, this is a man that I can't wait for you all to meet. And then in that, then I actually give them a name. They don't get to pick the name. I give them a name. And honestly, that brings such, like, you can see it, like as their shoulders straighten up, and they're, you see like this weight that comes in their chest when you do that to someone. Actually, at one of our fundraisers, we held an event here in Colorado Springs where we honored some guests, and we basically knighted them. It was a big event we put on with a king and queen at a castle, and it was what we call a madrigal. But as part of the show, we knighted a few of our top donors of the organization, and one of those guys named Ed, he wrote me this letter, and he says, Joe, in my entire life, I have never been honored like you honored me and my wife. And that meant so much to us. And so when it comes to words of encouragement, yes, it's important that we say the words of encouragement, but what the best, most impactful way to say it is find a way to say it to a group of people. And so if you're ever going to have a big event or small event, do this. Introduce each person at the table. Stand behind them, walk with them, and actually share about those qualities that you see in them. It will blow your mind what that will do.
Yeah, that goes a long ways, no doubt. It goes a long ways with credibility for not only you but them. It gains credibility all the way around, and we have enough people in this world that are critical and always looking at the downside of things, and pessimists and people that just look at the problems in other people, and we really don't have enough people in this world that are lifting each other up and praising them in a way that we recognize the things that they do and what they do well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we definitely need more of that.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, those are great words to end on, Joe. So, hey, thanks for teaching and helping us, and thank you everybody out there, and we will see you next time.